You are listening to Breakfast with Tiffany with your host, Tiffany Morgan.
That's right, sweet peas. It's me. It's me. Bum, bum. Well, hello there, my little sweet peas and my little love muffins from all around the big blue world. This is your hostess, Miss Tiffany Morgan, calling to you live from Kingston, Ontario, Canada, the home of limestone and the home to me, Miss Tiffany Morgan. That's right, sweet peas. Okay, let me just readjust this microphone so that you can see me. All right. Hey, sweet peas. What are we up to? What are you doing today on this fine day? So if you don't know who I am, I'm Miss Tiffany Morgan, drag queen of Kingston. Miss Gay Kingston, whatever you want to call me. I'm that. I'm that. And yeah, sweet peas. Um, how are things? How are things doing for you? I'm doing, like I'm surviving. I'm surviving. I overdid a little bit of working out sort of thing. Well, not working out. I was gardening. I was gardening on the weekend, and there was a lot of shoveling, and I think I've thrown out my back. I've just my lower back is just in so much pain. But the ibuprofen is helping. Is definitely helping with that. So yeah, how are you doing, sweet peas? How are people out there in the lands, out there in the wireless lands out there? So you're listening either to my podcast on my website tiffany.com, or you are welcome to the Sciatica Club. Okay, thank you, Fran. Thank you. You're either listening to this on tiffany.com, Tyffanie.com, or more likely you're listening to it on C4C 101.9 FM and on CFRC.ca. So if you are listening to this on CFRC, it is Canada Day. It is Canada Day. And yeah, I don't have I because Dahlia Anarchy is taking a little breaky poo from doing the oracle readings, but I still have a very, very, very busy program for you right now. Um, I had a great opportunity, a wonderful opportunity, a fabulous opportunity to speak to my bestest friend, Miss Rowena Whey. And we were chatting about something that's near and dear to her heart, and something that, it does. I was listening to it after the fact, and I'm like, this kind of sounds like a paid advertisement, but it's not. It's not. It's not. It is a little bit of an advertisement, but because it is doing such great work out there. So let me cue her up here. Where is she hiding here? Oh, there she is. All right. Please welcome to the program. I recorded. We chatted last night. I recorded her here. So let's take a listen here. Please welcome Miss Rowena Whey. Hello, Rowena Whey. How are you doing, sweet pea?
I am doing wonderfully. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming to Breakfast with Tiffany here on CFRC 101.9 FM as well on Tiffany.com. So I hear your face is on not a milk carton, but on a can.
Yes, I am not lost, but I have been found. I am on a beer can. You can stop the search.
just, just stop the search. She's been found. So, Sweepies, if you're in Kingston and you're sitting on a patio, socially distanced, of course, or if you've been to your local Liquor Control Board of Ontario and saw, no, you're not. You're not.
I am not in the LCBOs, unfortunately. I am
Only on patios.
only on patios or online. I will hopefully be in LCBOs once I, put enough pressure on them to put me in the LCBO.
Well, I think that's half the reason. I've just ruined this program because that's the main reason why I had you here. Not because you were already here, filming The Maple Tea. What's The Maple Tea with me? Which is also on themapletea.ca. And it had nothing to do. No, but girl, like a Kingstonian queen here, Well, do you identify as Kingstonian? Tell us,
I am.
tell
I am.
a bit of our,
Yeah.
our listeners who you are.
So my name is Rowena Whey. I am a drag queen. I am originally from Kingston, but I started doing drag in Edmonton. So as a drag queen, I'm an Edmontonian drag queen, but I am a Kingstonian. I was born and raised here. I am a local Kingstonian. So yes, I am a Kingston queen.
Okay.
I am a Kingstonian, and I am so excited to be the first Kingstonian drag queen, and actually the first Canadian drag queen to be pictured on a beer can.
Yay! Yay, sweetie! Okay, so yeah, so you have this great little relationship with a local brewing company that hopes to become like nationwide brewing. Well, I guess they are kind of nationwide.
They're
brewing.
nationwide. They're international, actually. They also sell beer in the United States.
And they're right here in Kingston. They were voted like #1 brew, I believe, of Kingston as well. Spearhead Brewery.
Yes, Spearhead Brewing Company voted #1 craft brewer in Kingston this year by Move 98.3 or something.
And yeah, some other station that shall be renamed nameless.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, so, but yeah, so Spearhead Brewing Company and I have been working together since my first drag show there, which was back in 2020. It was called Love is a Drag. And unbeknownst to us, 2020 became much more of a drag very soon after. But from that show onwards, I partnered with Spearhead to put on a monthly show. And last year, they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to partner with them on a beer.
So I had nothing to do with that. You had all this blackmail stuff against them, right? I'm teasing. That's a joke. That's a joke. Or is it? And
Absolutely
no,
nothing to do with the blackmail.
Ah!
Absolutely everything to do with the fact that they're just a great organization and a great group of people, and they wanted to do something to support the queer community.
Well, and we sometimes talk about how Kingston is so divided with its little communities, right? So downtown, where you can see one of my fabulous T-show drag shows. But if you're in the West End and you don't like driving downtown, you may not have seen one of my drag shows. But you brought drag to them in the West End.
I did. So I have a monthly show, Wednesday with Rowena, which will be starting again, hopefully in August, now that things are opening up.
Ooh,
at Spearhead Brewery.
And how did your face get onto a can? Talk more about that story. So they liked you, obviously, I'm assuming.
They liked me. I hosted a show for them in February 2020, and we raised a bunch of money at this sold-out show for Dawn House in Kingston, which is a local women's charity and shelter.
Awesome.
And then we did another show in fall of 2020 during one of the breaks in the pandemic. And again, completely sold out, very successful. And the president of Spearhead decided, after seeing the reaction to that first show and seeing the impact that it had on some young kids who actually attended the show.
Oh, yeah.
And their parents' interaction with their kids and trying to show them the diversity that exists in Kingston, he was inspired to partner with a queer organization on a beer. And so they reached out to me to try and figure out what organization I wanted to support. And they asked me to be pictured on the beer can as a queer individual myself. So that all started in about November 2020. And then by February, March 2020, we were making designs for the beer can. We'd chosen the organization, which is the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity in Ottawa, Ontario.
Yep.
And in May, it was released to the public, and it has become a sellout beer.
Well, I've been seeing Instagram photos and tweets and stuff like that. People are showing your likeness on the beer can in Toronto, like the Toronto Gay Village and stuff. They're like, oh, we have Queen of Wheat. By the way, it's called Queen of Wheat.
Have we not said that yet?
It's being sold. They're selling it at this place, that place, this place, that place. I know downtown Kingston was very keen on it too. There was a lot of places downtown that were carrying it. There was a little bit of a competition though in Kingston. Like there were like a couple other beers that were raising funds as well for LGBT organizations. But this is the one that I really want to, because your likeness is on it, dear. Heavily photoshopped, though.
Heavily photoshopped. It's a cartoon version of me, but a little known fact: the person who made the artwork is actually a queer individual who is used to be in Kingston.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. They, they could have been in Kingston, but
Well, they were in Kingston at the time when I reached out to them originally to make some artwork.
Oh,
They have
awesome.
since moved out of Kingston, but I don't hold that up against them.
no, because this is raising funds. It's a local beer with a local queen on it. Even though I know you said you're from Alberta, but you're a local queen. You're a local queen, and it's raising funds for a great charity. Do you know more about that? Because you proposed the charity to them.
Yes. So I have worked with the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity in the past, and I am really passionate about their mission, which is to provide education to people about queer issues and to empower queer individuals to be able to live their lives without fear of discrimination. And I mean, to me, the most important thing that we can do is to educate people, both within the queer community and also within our allied communities and those people who just don't support the queer community. They also need to be educated. The most education we can give, the more people will understand what we go through on a daily basis, what struggles people in the queer community are still facing, and some of the intersectional struggles that people within the queer community who are also other minorities face on a daily basis. So, $4 from every case of Queen of Wheat.
Oh, okay.
Which does break down to every can you buy. So if you only buy one can, you're still supporting the organization.
Right.
Goes to the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity in Ottawa, and they do national programming. So it is supporting communities all across Canada.
And I know they were, when we were able to meet in person, they even had a table at Kingston Pride, 2019. It's going back a while now, but that was 2019. And I'm sure we'll see them again actually here. And I was surprised because someone told me that it's they are the predecessors to Jer's Vision. Jer's Vision. Successors. Yeah, not predecessors. Successors to Jer's Vision. So if any of the older people out there remember Jer's Vision, which I think was around a few years ago. Anyway, it's that's now the organization. I'm just looking at a photo here as well of the can. I'm just going to describe it for our viewers out there. It is just trash. And no, I'm kidding. So it's Queen of Wheat. It's a mostly golden colored can, and it has a photo of you or a likeness of you, blonde hair, in a kind of like a pink. I don't know what
it's a peach colored cowl neck top. It's a very Grecian inspired look.
Because you were trying to go for that, right?
I was trying to go for that, and I actually made an outfit to match this can.
Yeah.
Which I think was successful. You can go to my Instagram and look at it. But I'm holding a Spearhead Brewery, and there's a wheat garland in front and 2 Progress Pride flags in the background. So this is unabashedly a queer supporting beer.
And it's zesty and aromatic.
Zesty and aromatic with hints of succulent peach.
Oh my goodness sakes. No, I don't drink the beer, but I will definitely have it in my home.
Thank you very much.
It would make a great Christmas ornament.
I have had people reaching out to me saying, "Where can I get a can? I don't drink beer, but I want the can as a keepsake."
Yeah, of course you do.
Well, just so you know, everyone, it's not just a Pride beer. It's not just available in June. It will be available as the summer progresses, and hopefully we'll get it in those LCBOs, and it will be available all year round.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit of that kind of? I don't know how to describe it. Is it a little bit of a struggle, shall we say? Because it's I think it's well fairly well known out there that, a local small company wants to get on the bigger Ontario stage, and you have to get it approved by the LCBO.
Yes. So the LCBO has an application process. They welcome applicants from anywhere in Ontario to submit their beers every year. They have different categories, and so to become a full-time listing, there are only a few spots every year, and very few. And you can imagine lots of beers are created every year.
Well, there's lots of beers. Yeah,
There's lots of
there's
beers.
how many beer companies are in Kingston alone?
Mhm. So the beer was submitted for application. It goes through a chemical testing to make sure that it's actually a good beer and it fits the type that it is.
It's not going to make you
And
blind.
it's not going to make you blind. And then it goes through a branding and marketing and sales assessment and also a taste assessment. And then a group of very highly paid individuals, I'm sure, decide whether or not that beer goes on the shelf.
I'm envisioning a room that you can barely see through because it's just blue, full of cigar smoke, and people just like, that's what I'm envisioning.
Mm-hmm. And it's up to them whether or not Queen of Wheat ends up on your LCBO shelves. But I mean, if you like it and you want to see it all year round, just as much as I do, supporting the Canadian Centre for Gender and Sexual Diversity, send a message to LCBO and say that you want Queen of Wheat on LCBO shelves.
Because it's not.
Because it's not.
I think what it was a little bit shocking is that yes, okay, of course, LCBO wants good quality beer. I understand that. But this is more than just good quality beer.
And it is delicious.
It is delicious. This is more than just. It's also the fact that I'm like, has there ever been a drag queen or likeness thereof on a beer can in Canada? I don't think that. No.
I actually, I reached out to the Queer Archives in Toronto.
Oh.
And it has never happened before. This is the first time that a drag queen, the image of a drag queen, has been featured on a beer can in Canada.
Wait, are you now submitted? Is your likeness now in the Queer Archives?
My likeness has been submitted to the Queer Archives.
I hate you. I don't even think I'm in the Queer Archives, even though I keep thinking, my ashes will be interned there. But
so, I mean, for me, it would be wonderful to see my likeness on a beer shelf. I think that would be wonderful. However, what really matters is the ability to have this pride beer, this queer supporting beer on a beer shelf all year round, where people can see it. Young people who maybe don't have a lot of exposure in smaller cities in Ontario to queer representation will see it.
Mm-hmm.
And the CCGSD will get funds from every beer sold to support their educational programs, which will support queer communities all across Canada all year round.
Well, thank you. You're putting it into perspective, because if it's at LCBO, it could potentially be on store shelves in Tweed. It could be in store shelves in my birth hometown of Iroquois Falls, and that's in far northern Ontario. That's huge coverage. And I'm not talking about, your fandom or anything like that, but just because when you read the back, you do read about the center as well, and what it's for. And I think it's a really, really great message. And it's it's a great drinking beer. But yeah, Sweet Pea, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do you have more?
I was just going to say, in the words of the president of Spearhead, Queen of Wheat was created in celebration of diversity, inclusion, and love. And having that all over Ontario for communities, small communities, large communities, would just be an even greater celebration.
Well, if there was a way for me to say, LCBO, hey, re-look at this. Seriously, take a second look at this. I would.
And you all have that power if you feel like it. You can send an email to the LCBO.
All right, Sweet Pea. Thank you so much, Rowena, for coming into my studio.
Thank you so much, Tyffanie, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
All right, and you can see Rowena Whey on pretty much every can now. Queen of Wheat can. out there. Ask your servers for something, and you can also see where else can they find you? They can find you on Instagram, Linktree,
They can
something.
find me on Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook, or you can look at Linktree Rowena Whey.
Exactly, and Whey is Whey.
Yes, Whey, and at a live show near you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Rowena Whey. Thank you. And that was Rowena Whey, and she was talking about the Queen of Wheat beer from Spearhead Brewing Company. And yeah, thank you so much, Rowena. She was here. We actually did our podcast, the What's the Maple Tea, where we talk about RuPaul's Drag Race and everything in between. She was actually physically here, so I was able to record her. That hence why you hear a little bit of an echo sort of thing, because we're sharing one little microphone. So, so a listener who I do record this live on my social media, so go to Tyffanie.com to find this out. By the way, you're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM. This is Breakfast with Tyffanie, also on Tyffanie.com, and I'm Tyffanie Morgan. And one of my listeners just asked if Tyffanie were to be on an alcoholic beverage container, what would that be? And so far, I'm not seeing a whole lot of comments from that yet. I said vodka because I do like that libation. But I'm sure there's going to be some funny ones out there, hopefully soon. Yeah, just come up with the funny ones. Come up with the funny ones. We want to share that. So if you are listening to this on the radio waves right now, this is July 1st. This is Canada Day. And a lot of people are asking not to celebrate Canada Day. Not to celebrate Canada Day because of the recent findings. So the children's graves found in the Kamloops residential school, and also the 751, is it 700 or 15? Sorry, I sometimes get my numbers mixed up. Unmarked graves in Saskatchewan at a residential school grounds there as well. And there's a call to not celebrate Canada Day. I am going to. I still think it's important because quite often these kind of holidays are just kind of meant to connect with friends and family, and I don't see anything wrong in doing that. I am not putting up any red, white, sort of things. No blue stuff. Red and white. I'm not putting any of that up. There's no like special drinks or anything like that. But I would also challenge you, and I'm going to challenge myself this as well, to review the calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation report. It is so you can find the Truth and Reconciliation report at the website TRC. That's T's and Tom, R's and Robert, C's and Charlie.ca, and there is a whole section. So it's there's a whole section about the residential schools. I had no idea, but there's over 600 references to residential schools in the report, and part of it is finding the graves and identifying who are in those graves, and that's a really important thing there. I hear there's some issues with getting some records. Um, it, it's sad to say, but it's not that surprising because I don't think the people. It's just hard to think that some people were treated as disposable, and especially through organizations that are religious organizations that we hold very true to a lot of our hearts that we were born and raised in and grew up in. This isn't, it's not that surprising when there was discovery of unmarked graves in Ireland in I think it was unwed mothers, and it was babies who were either born stillborn or something, just taken out to the back. It's just sad. And I apologize. Someone's trying to call me. But of course that happens on the live, isn't it? Put the phone on vibrate. Um, it's just broken my rhythm. But anyway, I am going to reach out to friends and family. It's going to be kind of that little opportunity because there's not a lot of time that you kind of focus on friends and family, but also taking some time to look at some of the action items or just refresh myself on the Truth and Reconciliation um, report, and just think of what I can influence on that road to reconciliation. So Rowena posted here that if my likeness was on a liquor bottle, what would it be? And it's moonshine. All right. Exactly, moonshine. So, what are you doing for Canada Day? Are you planning on, spending time with friends and family, or maybe hiding from the heat? I am not used to this heat wave yet myself. it's like, oh, a little hot in here, a little hot in here. Um, I also want to kind of talk about. So again, you're listening to C4C 101.9 FM, and this is Breakfast with Tiffany with me, Miss Tiffany Morgan. Um, so there is a bill to ban conversion therapy at the federal level currently. I believe it passed through um, Parliament to go to the Senate. But there are concerns that if there is an early election, that everything gets cleaned. There's a clean slate of all the bills, right? So I please correct me if I'm wrong, but from my days, my public school days of understanding how a bill gets passed in the federal legislation, is that it goes to Parliament, and then it goes to Senate, and then there's a committees, and it kind of bounces back and forth. But going to Senate, so they can debate and they can make amendments to the bill before it gets accepted. And so the bill has gone to Senate, but if there is an election, all bills kind of get wiped clean, is my understanding. And this is a concern for some of the supporters for the bill to ban conversion therapy. Ben Rogers, a survivor of conversion therapy, shared his story with me a few months ago, and he's highlighted in some of these articles as well. He's trying to raise some money to start a survivors group as well. So if you want to check that out, there's a GoFundMe page for him. You can find it probably on my socials, links to that. But I'm hoping that a ban gets through. I'm hoping the ban gets through. So cross fingers, cross toes. Let's ban conversion therapy. If you don't know what conversion therapy is, I would suggest to take a look online because, unfortunately, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. So conversion therapy, not to be glib about it, but it is trying to convert anyone's sexual orientation or gender identity back to what is deemed more appropriate, by whoever standards. So if you identify as gay, they want to convert you back to straight. If you identify, if you were born with male characteristics, but you identify as a woman, they want to convert you back to being male, sort of thing. And it runs the gamut of how these therapies work, and it's terrible, just wrong. And I support that bill banning it. Kingston supported that bill. Kingston supported no conversion therapy as well. All right, sweet peas. There are lots of events going on. I would suggest for you to go to outin.ca or check out Rowena's page because she's got a few events going on as well. But I gotta go. I give you my love. Mwah! You stay safe now.